Hey everybody, Dave here, and I wanted to send you guys a quick video message welcoming you to kind of the mid part of the quarter. And I know you guys are cranking along, getting all your homework assignments in, and I applaud all of your efforts. I know there's a lot of little assignments here and there, but if you're staying on it and you're looking ahead, then things should be moving along pretty smoothly at this point in the quarter for us. No catastrophes last week, and so this week we I just wanted to provide you and let you know that everything has been graded and updated from last week's assignment. There was a lot of grading, and I've been at it for quite a few hours here, and I'm just excited to let you know that it's all updated, and I'm delighted. I can't wait to go out and well, not necessarily go outside because it looks nasty out there right now, but in any case, I'm going to leave here, and that's a good thing, I suppose, here in a few minutes. In any case, hey, next week, or I should say last week, we talked a little bit about flexibility and mobility. And personally, as I get older, I'm really appreciating those areas of wellness and health. And quite frankly, when I was younger, I'll say in my teens, 20s, and 30s, those are the areas I probably neglected the most because I was in such a routine of exercise, doing a lot of just general strength and conditioning work and also cardiorespiratory. But I never really thought about moving much as far as mobility and flexibility. And now that I'm in my uh, I'm holding on to my early 30s or early 40s, let's just say that. I'm really paying the price for that lack of flexibility and that lack of mobility. So I'm really excited that you guys get a piece of that. And I just ask that you consider it at least periodically, maybe a couple of times a month if you're not doing it already as a regular habit. Just consider it, a couple of times a month, even just to continue working towards improvement of good posture, good flexibility, and good mobility. And I'll just say this real quick. In my face-to-face class, we kind of break things down a little bit into areas of the body. So the front side of our body is called the anterior side, and the back side is called your posterior side. And on the posterior side, we've got what's called a posterior chain. So a lot of these muscles, same with the front side, but we talk about the back side because in terms of flexibility, our backside muscles generally get really tight, especially from about the ribs down. So our lumbar area, our glutes, hamstrings, and calves, they get really tight, and a lot of those muscles do overlap, and that posterior chain can really become problematic when it comes to back health and just general mobility, I guess. And personally, I don't have necessarily back health issues, but I have Achilles issues. So I just get up and I'm just super tight. But some of the things that really help are some of the general mobility exercises that you can find in physical therapy offices or actually right here on your campus shelf. So I would encourage you to stay with those, make them a regular habit. Within somewhere embedded within your fitness plans as we get into an assignment around fitness plans. Just remember, keep these things in the back of your mind, and I'll say readily available for you so that you can access them when you need them. This coming week, I know we still have some assignments due this week, but I wanted to let you know next week we're going to be getting into resistance training exercises. And I found that a couple of students are overlapping cardio, mobility, and resistance training, thinking that they're going to do one and they're going to get benefits. For example, I sometimes get like someone who does a lot of resistance training in the upper body doing cardio for legs. And that doesn't necessarily work that way. I always encourage people to do resistance training with the legs because those are the larger muscles that tend to atrophy the most as we get older. And so what you want to do is create a good foundation, a solid foundation. Happens with the legs, happens with the glutes, generally happens with a good squatting exercise, deadlifts, squats, front squats, whatever they may be. But those are generally areas that I personally want to target first. Then I target the back muscles and then the chest muscles. And while I'm thinking about it, generally push-pull series. So a pushing exercise would be like bench press. Pulling would be like a seated row or a pull-up. For females, that the general rule of thumb is to do 4 pulls for every 2 pushes you're doing. And so you can do 4 different exercises versus 2 exercises. So you do 4 pulling exercises, 2 pushes, or try to figure out a way to do, get your sets and reps so that you are getting twice as many pulls. For females, mainly just for posture, to just make sure the humerus is rotated correctly so that our chest is nice and powerful and when it's relaxed, and we're not hunched over like so. Okay, like this. We're at a computer all day just typing away. In any case, that's really how our back muscles get weak, is because our posture stinks and we're on our phones all day and our necks get hunched over. And over a period of years, that can really become problematic on our spine. So in any case, for males, it's about a 3-to-2 ratio. So still more pulls than pushes. And, and those pulling exercises will actually loosen up the chest. It will actually give you a greater range of motion in the shoulders and the chest cavity. So stay tuned, or kind of just be mindful of those numbers, those figures, and the exercises, and kind of where your focus and your target is in terms of cardio, weights, and mobility. And next week, we're going to be getting into different areas of resistance training. We're going to be talking about hypertrophy, muscular endurance, muscular strength. I always encourage people to begin a resistance training plan with a good foundation of muscular endurance. So they're going to be doing things like high repetitions, 12 to 20 repetitions, 1 to 2 sets at the beginning of their exercise program for maybe the first couple of weeks, and then they can start really challenging themselves. But you need a good foundation first. Most importantly, however, is the discussion around goals. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Goals, the key about goals is that they have to be yours. Okay, and I know they are, but I mean they have to kind of cultivate the feeling of vitality upon waking up every day. You're thinking about the objectives of your day, the goals of your day, and what are those objectives and goals leading to. And in terms of exercise, if you're not waking up every day yearning for for greater health, greater wellness, then your goals are probably not consistent with with what you're maybe saying or alluding to in class. I want to encourage you to really set goals that are really meaningful and that you're really going to move towards. So, if going to a gym really doesn't wake you up in the morning, then find an exercise that does. Find maybe a group of people that you could train with towards maybe a Spartan or a 5K race or something that or a small triathlon, something that just gets you going and just gives you the greater sense of moving, I guess. And there's all sorts of different recreations and hobbies that are out there. So if you guys need help with anything, let me know. But the fun part aspect is huge, as is the social aspect. So connecting with other people, other groups on Facebook. There's cycling groups and roller derby groups and ultimate frisbee groups and kickball groups, softball groups, all these things to stay connected with. And the idea is just to sustain that emotional, cognitive health through just peer-to-peer engagement, peer-to-peer interaction. And what are you not doing during those times? Many of you alluded to setting goals around staying away from technology. So when you're exercising, you're not necessarily right there with your Instagram or your Snapchat or whatever you're using. Instead, you're exercising. You're engaging in exercise. And when you're doing this socially, even more so. So that if you're exercising in isolation, it's much easier to look at a phone. But if you're exercising with a partner, that thing's in the locker. I mean, you're not even touching your phone. So I would encourage you to connect socially with your hobbies and with your goals, and also ensure that they are fun indeed. So in any case, that's an 8-minute video. I hope it is packed with good information, and I hope this week the video works. So you guys if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me a message. All right, bye-bye.